Welcome to Let's Talk Football with me, Chris.
And me, Richard.
The podcast bringing you the latest in football news. Every week we discuss all the big talking points from the world of football and preview all the action in a week to come.
In this week's podcast, United stun Liverpool at Old Trafford, putting in an excellent display to come out on top. City and Newcastle serve up a 6-goal thriller at St James's Park. Leeds put Chelsea to the sword at Elland Road. And Arsenal maintain the only 100% record left in the Premier League after beating Bournemouth.
A comfortable win over Bournemouth, I believe I wrote. Lots to get on with this week, so let's talk football. Oh, welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back. Hello, everybody.
Welcome to Let's Talk Football. We're here to talk about all things football. So, it's been a weekend.
It's been a very good weekend for you and I this weekend.
Yes,
which has been unusual so far this season.
It has been, especially this side.
Yeah.
It's been a dreadful start, and we might as well start where it all finished.
Yeah. Let's get it out of the way. Let's rip the band-aid off, everyone.
I mean, I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Much like Gary Neville was saying, I couldn't believe what I was seeing.
Did you have to rub your eyes?
It's like, this is the same group of players that gave us the nonsense that they gave us last week. And all of a sudden, they're world beaters.
Yeah.
And they really were. They were at it.
They were. From very, very quickly into the game, they were very much on top. Yeah.
On the pressure that they put on Liverpool from that outset was unbelievable. The chance we had good chances as well, created them obviously. Elanga hit the post.
Yeah.
You know what? When he hit the post like that, I thought, oh no, that was it. Do you know what I mean? For me, I was just like, oh, that was it. We were on top. We've not scored, but then they found something else again.
Yeah.
And the goal we did score, I thought, was a very good goal.
Yeah.
When it came.
Not sure what Virgil van Dijk was doing, but yeah.
No, and you know, we can talk about James Milner's reaction, which I think was absolutely. I mean, because there's two parts of it as I see for James Milner. One, he's been embarrassed because he's been sat on the floor.
Yeah.
So he's feeling it a little bit because that's happened. And then he's probably looked behind him and saw his best, who they claim is the best defender in the world, standing like a speed skater in the 6-yard box, not even moving towards the ball. It's like, I cannot fathom why he's not closed that down.
Yeah. No.
How do you not close that down?
No.
I don't know whether he doesn't. Maybe the only thing I can kind of think of is that maybe it's something that Alisson tells them.
Possibly.
Is just give me the room, but he probably didn't realise that Alisson also got sold by the dummy.
Yeah, because he had near enough half a goal to aim at.
Yeah, because Alisson got sold, Milner got sold, and then that's the only thing I can think of is that Alisson's like, because that's what one of the things Schmeichel used to tell the United defenders was just stay out the way.
Mm-hmm.
Just stay out of the way so that I can see the ball, you know, and cut off an angle. Don't let the ball come through your legs, and then I've got the goal. I can work with everything else because I can work the angle. That's the only thing I can kind of think of.
Where I was
as to why he's not moved.
The man with the ball is the most dangerous person on the pitch.
Yeah, it was just odd. It was odd that he didn't close him down. Let's be honest, but
then Rashford makes it 2.
Rashford makes it 2 with a great run, great pass from Martial, which was a big change from Ten Hag at half time to bring Martial on.
Yeah.
Considering, you know, Elanga was playing well.
Mm-hmm.
Not as if Elanga was playing poorly at all. He played really well.
But he'd obviously
got the assist for the first goal.
Maybe.
Well, I don't think it was that. I think well, from stuff that I've heard from Ten Hag is that he sort of always planned to bring Martial on.
All right. Okay.
I think he wanted him on the pitch, and I think he saw the success. Well, not the success so much, but the game that Trent Alexander was having, knew that Martial would give him more of a focal point up top to hold on to it like he did, and then turn and then put the passes in.
Yeah.
Exactly, and then put the passes in behind for the two to run onto.
Yeah.
So, no, it was very, very good. And obviously, Salah gets the one back. It gets nervy.
Now, I want you to take your Manchester United glasses off for a second.
Yeah.
Should Bruno Fernandes have been booked for a second time?
Which one?
For holding on to the ball.
Well, no, because my thought, I know, and this is the same no matter who does it, right? I think it's stupid when players have just scored and they go chasing after that ball. For me, I think that's because technically it's not your ball.
No.
Not your ball, it's the opposition's ball.
Yeah.
So I don't agree actually with the Liverpool players hounding on. They know what Bruno's trying to do is slow it down, right? But at the same time, the referee knows what he's trying to do at the same time.
Yeah.
I mean, we ended up having 5 minutes of added time anyway. It's like I didn't get, because what happens anyways, Bruno's probably, or Martial's going to be the one that takes the kick anyway. So if they could have just walked back to the bloody halfway line. They've still got to get to the halfway line. Bruno's still got to get up there anyway. They could run away with the ball and put it on the spot all they like. It was silly. I don't think it was worth a booking, to be honest, because it's our ball. It's our ball. If it had been a Liverpool ball, they had gone out for a corner and he was doing that, then that's a different story, isn't it?
Yeah.
But the fact that they've scored the goal, it's United's ball to kick off at that point. And I've always been the same with that. I'm pretty consistent with that across everybody. As soon as you score, that's it. That's not your ball anymore.
Yeah.
It's the opposition's ball. So you know what I mean. If you're lucky enough to get hold of it and run it back, but it doesn't matter because they're all going to take their time getting back into position anyway to restart the game anyway.
Yeah.
So it was silly. It was nonsense.
Silly.
I don't know what they were playing at. And any other amusing thing to come out of it? I don't know if you saw Jurgen Klopp's interview after the game.
No, I didn't.
So his excuse this week was that. No,
the grass.
No.
The grass
it was Father Time himself. He said that we should have won that game, but we ran out of time.
Oh.
There should have been. If they'd have had more time, they'd have won.
All right.
Yeah. So he wanted 120. He wanted probably 2 hours of football.
Right.
To win. They should have won. I don't know how they should have won that game. They were
dreadful.
They were by far the worst team on that football pitch, and I can say that with all objectivity I could possibly muster, and it'd still be the same outcome.
No, Manchester United were the more effective side out of the two.
We were so much better in their faces at them. Martinez was phenomenal. Malaysia was amazing. Have we found our back four now?
Yeah.
Possibly. I did think though. I mean, they did get tired towards the end. You could see that. I mean, the two centre halves both cramped up.
Yep.
Dalot tired as well, which is why he brought Wan-Bissaka on. But I think in those situations, Wan-Bissaka's perfect. Bring on
counter-attacking football at that point, isn't it? Yeah.
Well, he's a defender. He's an out-and-out defender, really, Wan-Bissaka. So one-on-one people aren't going to beat him generally. Do you know what I mean? He's got that long reach, that knack of getting that tackling. So there's a lot of news about him being linked with a move, but it's unlikely. But no, it was good to see. Obviously, some big calls. Maguire got dropped. Ronaldo was on the bench.
Yeah.
Big calls, but they worked.
Yeah.
They worked.
And Casemiro to come into it.
And Casemiro comes in, so all of a sudden everything looks a bit brighter, but it doesn't change the mood of the fans in regards to the owners.
No. Although they were all in their seats. Come kick off.
Yeah, but there was still a load outside the ground protesting for the whole game.
Fair enough.
They did a big march up from the city centre all the way out to Old Trafford. So it's not going away.
No, it's not going to go away. No. United fans want change, and until they get that, they're going to keep doing what they're doing. Yeah.
Indeed, we really will. We want them gone. Other than that, was anything else to come out of that game? I don't think so. I think that pretty much wraps up everything.
Up to the dizzy heights of 14th.
Yeah, we have gone above Liverpool in the league. So we take that.
Only a point behind Chelsea.
Only a point behind Chelsea. There we go. Should we go to Chelsea next? Well, technically Ellen Road.
Let's go to Ellen Road next. Absolutely.
Go to Ellen Road.
What a performance.
Leeds put in it was much the same really of what you kind of expected from a Bielsa team. The pressure that they put Chelsea under.
Although Thomas Tuchel did think that Chelsea deserved to win the game.
Yeah, I don't know how though when your goalkeeper makes that sort of error.
Well, that's what he said. He said we made mistakes. Leeds didn't do anything to beat us. We made mistakes.
I mean, they scored 3 goals, so I think they did. To be fair, Thomas. I'm
and he's your mate, Tuchel, so you're disagreeing with your mate there. But yeah,
I'm a fan of Thomas Tuchel, but no, he's wrong there. I thought Leeds were fantastic.
They were from start to finish. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They were after them. They scored some good goals. I thought Dan James was
superb,
phenomenal.
Yeah. Obviously, the crowd were immense as well.
Well, they always are. They always are. Ellen Road.
They get behind their team, Leeds.
Yeah,
they do. Yeah,
yeah, exactly. And once you go 1-0 up there, it is very difficult place to play.
Especially when they conceded so quickly. Chelsea, they kind of probably didn't know what hit them at that point.
Yeah, it's about half an hour into the game, though, isn't it, when they get the first goal?
Yeah, but then they get 2 in sort of 4 minutes.
Yeah,
and you're kind of like, oh,
yeah. I think the double hit would have stung.
Yeah,
Rodrigo doing wonders for fantasy team players.
Yeah, definitely.
At the start of the season.
Yeah.
Got Rodrigo in your team. You're doing well. Because I think he's classed as a midfielder as well in fantasy, not a striker.
I think he's a midfield player.
And he's playing up front, so get him in your team before his form drops.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably happen this week now. I've said that
before the wheels come off. And then Koulibaly getting himself sent off as well.
Yeah, well, the second one was definitely worth a yellow.
Yeah.
I'll be honest, I don't remember seeing the first yellow, but
I think it was just a lazy challenge, the first one.
Yeah, so it's going to happen.
Silly boy.
Unfortunately. But Leeds will be very delighted with that. And to be honest, a needed win in some respects, because it kind of gives them that confidence that they can now, under Jesse Marsh at least, can upset the top teams again.
Yeah, because last season they didn't beat any of us. Yeah.
No, they didn't beat any of the big teams.
Last year. No.
Absolutely, and with the change with Bielsa and Jesse Marsh coming in, I think that's going to be a nice little, okay, we can still do this type of thing for Leeds, where some people, they lost, don't forget, they've lost Rafinha and Calvin Phillips.
Yeah.
And, they can still do it.
There's that Harrison looks a very good player.
Oh, Harrison, yeah, Harrison is a very, very good
and
player.
Anderson.
Yeah.
Aronson, sorry. Yeah.
Aronson, yeah. No, they've done well in the market, really. They've found some nice, they found a good player in Aronson, obviously. Harrison was already there, but...
Yeah.
No, I think Leeds will be delighted with that, I'm sure. Chelsea, on the other hand, 4 points from their first 3 games, not the end of the world. I thought they were a little bit disjointed up top.
They're still missing the number 9.
Yeah, they're missing that.
It out with Aubameyang, but still not done.
It just doesn't look like it flows yet, and obviously Sterling's still settling into the way things are. Although he had a good chance, to be fair.
Yeah, he did first half. Yeah,
that I think he should have done better with. Havertz doesn't look quite at it this season so far. He has played through the middle for Chelsea on many occasions before.
Fair, we were talking about Raheem Sterling at the weekend, and obviously under Manchester City's team, obviously he would have maybe 4 or 5 chances a game, and he might score 1 or 2. Whereas with Chelsea, obviously he might only get 1 or 2 chances, and he's got to put one of them away.
Yeah, and that's just going to be a change, because in a City team, he can do that. He can say, oh, well, I'll just get the next one.
Yeah, whereas Chelsea don't create that many clear-cut chances.
As many, for sure. Yeah. So, yeah, it's going to take a little bit of adjustment, I think. I don't know about Chelsea. I think they had a really, really good start. They outplayed Tottenham last week. This might just be a little blip. But we'll see. I mean, Mendy, the start, it's the same happened with United last week with Brentford. Goalkeeper makes an error that we don't see from Mendy.
Yeah.
Lose an early goal, the second one goes in, and then it's
I don't know why he tries to take him on. You just put that out of play, don't you? As soon as you lose
for sure.
Your bearings. Yeah.
For sure, yeah. You just got to get rid. You just got to get rid. But they're drilled into a certain degree, aren't they? That I can't do that.
I get man on. Yeah.
Exactly. But it cost them. It cost them on Sunday. Right, where to next? Let's go to the team that are currently top of the Premier League, and that would be Arsenal.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Who are being unbearable.
Ugh. Yeah.
I'm sure for a lot of people, but I think that was a very, very solid performance again from Arsenal.
Yeah, very professional performance from Arsenal.
Yeah, they can be delighted with this start for sure, and I think Arteta is starting to shape his he has shaped his side now.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of talent that he's starting to develop nicely, because obviously those players last year were a year younger.
Yeah.
We've already talked about how Jesus has been a revelation for him. Zinchenko's also come in and done well, so their signings have worked. Saliba's come in. I mean, he had the disastrous own goal last week, but the strike, the the striking on this particular occasion was absolutely phenomenal. You know that's a bonus from your centre half, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, Tony Adams used to smack a few in like that, I remember, but
No, not with that sort of finesse. I mean, that was just
not with the finesse.
Beautifully.
Yeah. And a double from Martin Odegaard as well.
Yeah, they're looking good, Arsenal. Pains me to say, but they are looking good.
They are looking very good. Now, for Bournemouth, obviously, it was always going to be a struggle. Anyway.
Yeah, playing City and Arsenal back to back, the fixture computer hasn't been kind to them.
Hasn't been kind early doors. I'm sure they'll try and take some positives out of it. They
said they were better second half, Scott Parker. Obviously, first half, he said they were appalling and it wasn't acceptable. Yeah.
And it's not as if they got outplayed for 90 minutes by Arsenal. They had plenty of the ball.
Yeah.
They had a few shots. I think they only had maybe one on target, if I can sort of
one
remember.
on target.
But they had times in the game where they had the ball.
Threatening for about 10 minutes. They looked very threatening, and they looked like they might sort of get a goal back at least. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's some positives I think for Bournemouth to take going forward. But these aren't the games that are going to keep them in the league.
No, definitely not. These are bonus point games. Yeah.
Yeah, if you get them, they're bonuses. Yeah. After this, then let's talk City. Newcastle City.
Yeah, Newcastle City.
What a goal! What a game that was! Yeah. That was a phenomenal game. End to end, Newcastle not holding back in it. A wonderful free kick from Trippier as well.
Yeah. And just a very enjoyable game of football.
Yeah, it was. It was very good. It was like watching Newcastle of old. That was.
Yes, it was. Yeah, definitely. Swashbuckling forwards.
Yeah, the Keegan days.
Definitely.
Some people may remember.
You are going back a little bit, but yeah.
It was attack. It was literally you attack, we attack.
Yeah.
You attack, we attack.
They'll be disappointed to draw after being 3-1 up. I think though.
I think so, but it's City.
Yeah,
it's City, and they're just the machine that keeps going. And I think if you'd have asked Eddie Howe before the game, you take a point.
Yeah,
you take that all day long. I mean, obviously you are a bit disappointed when you lose a 2-goal lead, but it is Manchester City.
Yeah,
and
started the brighter.
Yeah,
obviously they get the first goal of the game, and then you think, okay, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, maybe.
It could have been.
Yeah,
but the fact that then they score 3 on the bounce.
Yeah,
Newcastle. They've improved. You think about Newcastle this time last year, and where they've come in that time period.
Done an amazing job. I know they've got all the resources that they can have, Newcastle, but he is.
Well, they have right now, but really, they haven't really done a great deal with that yet, have they? Do you know what I mean?
Gamares is probably about the biggest one that's come in terms of money wise.
Yeah, Trippier's probably on a big contract as well, I would think. But generally, that's they haven't really.
No,
haven't really gone out there.
If you look at that starting 11, obviously Byrne wasn't there last year. Neither was Botman. Pope wasn't there last year. The rest of them were. Yeah.
Yeah, but very good. I mean, I thought St. Maximin was brilliant again.
Oh, he was tearing Kyle Walker a new one every time.
Yeah, it was not a fun afternoon for Kyle Walker.
No, and it was weird because City just seemed to be playing with the 2 centre-backs.
Yeah.
At times. And you were like,
that's what
Maximin's got all this room down the right and on the left-hand side.
The thing is, City aren't necessarily used to having
pressure put on them.
That prolonged amount of pressure on them. So, for them, it's just like, and
what do we do?
They go forward. The thing is, they're going to go forward. They're going to create problems for you, and they're probably going to score goals, and that's kind of what they rely on.
Yeah. But it was a good tactic from Newcastle because he was the outball every time, and he was sort of screaming for it at some point. Giving the ball because he was just taking players on left, right, and centre. Yeah,
that's it. It'll be interesting to see if other teams try that.
Yeah, but that might be the way to get at Manchester City. Yeah.
But there aren't many players as skillful as St. Maximin in the league.
True.
You think of the other clubs, he's going to create those sort of problems. The Hard might cause those problems for you. If Rashford plays as he did last night, he could cause Kyle Walker a problem down that left-hand side.
And maybe for us,
Yeah, so it just depends on who and what, I think, and see if other people have a go down that avenue.
Yeah, definitely.
People will have seen that and use it as an opportunity. So, it was 3-3. City will be disappointed to drop points, but considering what's happening to Liverpool so far this season, not too much to panic about, I wouldn't think, from a City perspective.
Not just yet, no.
No, I think that'd be all right. somehow. We might as well round off Sunday while we're here. West Ham losing at home to Brighton, which for me was a little bit of a surprise.
Yeah, but then Brighton are a bit of a bogey team for West Ham. I don't think they've actually beaten them in the Premier League so far.
Brighton just have this way of playing, don't they? That is.
They soak up the
very,
pressure,
very good.
and they hit you on the counter attack. Yeah, the penalty's not a penalty though for me.
No, I agree with you on that. I don't think it was either. I thought they were a bit lucky to get that.
Soft penalty, but he sticks it away fairly well, McAllister.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You do what you do.
Yeah.
Thought Danny Welbeck was good again.
Yes, Welbeck has seemed to have had a new lease of life.
Yeah, he's found like a bit of
8 months, and
bit of a renaissance for Danny. I think mainly though it's because he's staying fit.
Yes, that's the main thing. Yeah,
he's been fit. When he is and he's available and he's at it and he's up to full level. Yeah. His work rate has never been in doubt wherever he's been. No. But he's just had these niggling little injuries, and they've never really been. I mean, I think he's had one really big one. I think.
Yeah.
But other than that, he's just.
Wasn't it? When he had
it was at Arsenal.
Yeah.
But other than that, it's just been these little niggles that he keeps getting one, and then he gets another one. Yeah. But he's stayed fit properly now, probably for the longest period that he has since that Arsenal injury. Yeah, and he's starting to show that he's still got it, Danny, and I'm very happy for him.
He's one of yours, isn't he? So
yeah. We love to see it.
And
but
Brighton's goal very good as well.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. No, you're right to mention it. It was a solid finish. He's got this ability. I really like Trossard. I think he's a quality footballer.
Got a knack of getting in the box.
He's got that little finesse about him, a little touch of class that I think is vital for Brighton.
Yeah, definitely. And they had a good start themselves. Yeah.
Yeah, 7 points from their first 3 league games. You take that if you're Brighton. Yeah. You're ahead of a lot of people who are probably going to end up around you come the end of the season. Consistency is the main issue for a lot of these teams, though, isn't it?
Yeah, it'd be interesting, obviously, with the break for the World Cup. It will be interesting to see how everybody copes in the second half of the season after a month.
Yeah, because I think we're going to find people who don't go to the World Cup. Like, I think they will probably end up with a few friendlies happening.
Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, well, we might end up with a few other things happening, I think.
Potentially, yeah.
But I think there'll be a few friendly games happening in that time period. I think clubs might take an opportunity to take some of the players. You might end up having like other tours and stuff happening.
Yeah,
I would imagine
some warm weather training somewhere, or
stuff like that to keep them up to date and keep them busy.
Yeah,
keeping them sharp. Right, Spurs Wolves. That started off the weekend, didn't it?
Yeah, nice early start for me.
Yeah, Harry Kane with his 250th goal for Spurs.
250th goal for Tottenham, 186th goal, making him the most scoring for one club.
One club, yeah.
In the Premier League, and Tottenham's 1,000th goal at home in the Premier League.
Lucky time getting there.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
It took you 30 years. Literally 30 years. Almost to the day.
To the day, yeah.
To the day. There you go. 30 years to get the 1,000th goal at home.
Yeah. To be fair to Wolves, they were very good first half. We were very, very lacklustre in the first half. If they'd had a number 9 on the field, I think they could have caused a hell of a lot more problems.
And I thought there was a couple of opportunities, actually, that they half created, Wolves, where they could have done better, I think.
Yeah.
I thought Neto played really well.
He did. Yeah, he
for the time he was on.
Yeah.
Glad before Traore come on.
Yeah.
I was surprised, actually. I was surprised.
But yeah, they had that one that went past the post in the first half. It was quite close to going in, but obviously they hit the post in the second half. Neves hit the post from a free kick.
Yeah, I think Jimenez as well come on and had a good little run, didn't he?
Yeah.
At one point, and I thought, oh, here we go.
But Hugo didn't have a save to make. I think that was the biggest thing. They had 20 shots.
Well, that's the thing.
And Hugo didn't have a save to make.
You've got to hit the target.
Yeah.
Got a proper save to make.
No, he didn't have a save to make. He had a catch. That was it.
Yeah, I think technically, I mean, I'm just looking at the stat now. Yeah. Apparently, Wolves had three shots on target.
Yeah, but I can tell you categorically, he didn't have a save to make.
There we go. I mean, I did watch that game, but I don't remember.
And obviously Harry Kane, as you say, coming up with a goal. Lovely
Harry
corner
Kane.
kick routine.
Yeah, it was very well worked. And
The corner kick coach he's earning his money, the set piece man.
Yeah, for sure. You get the goals, you get the win. That's 3 points for Spurs.
Yeah, and that's
them.
Yeah,
that's them 7 points.
And that's 3 games last season. We lost all 3 of them games last season we played so far this year.
Yeah, so that's up on last season.
Yeah,
but you'll probably lose to some others soon, so don't get too excited.
I'm not getting too excited. I'm just saying, it's something. It's an improvement.
It is. Yeah. It is signs of improvement. And then, Palace Villa.
Yeah.
I thought it was a quite an entertaining game, but I thought Palace in particular were very, very good. Carried on their form from that Liverpool game for sure.
They seem to have unlocked Wilfried Zaha.
Yes, found a
way for him to be in the side and to him to be effective.
Yeah, for sure. On that left, he can be quite frightening.
Yeah.
He's got the skill. We know he's got the skill, but his decision making's getting better.
It's getting a lot better. Yeah, a lot better.
He seems to be doing the right thing at the right time now, whereas before he might try take on one player too soon or make the wrong pass. It's not happening so much right at this particular moment.
Yeah, now he's looking lethal. When he gets on the ball, there's a little buzz that starts to happen. And you think he's actually going to do something with it when he gets on the ball as well.
That's it, yeah. Which is what you want as a fan to see happening, and of course the rest of his team will be delighted at that.
Definitely. Aston Villa, I'm a little bit confused by Aston Villa at the moment.
Yeah, it is confusing. I think for Villa fans alike, it's a bit odd, really.
Yeah.
They haven't quite got it together. Things aren't quite working.
Things aren't clicking.
No, not at all right now. Gerrard needs to try and get something else out of these guys, but he probably wants a couple more, to be honest. I mean,
he probably does.
Coutinho was on the bench for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Which I thought was odd.
At the start they made, obviously, picking Bailey over him, you're kind of like, okay, that's a justified decision. He's out of the goal for Watkins.
Yeah.
But, yeah, they just, obviously, Palace were back in it pretty much straight away.
Yeah.
And they looked like they were going to be the team that were going to win the game. Villa very rarely threatened from that point on.
Yeah, it's a confusing one at Villa. It really is. I think they probably... Well, the thing is, they could do with... I think they could do with getting a couple in between now and the end of the window.
They do, yeah. They need some bodies. They need another centre-back, obviously. They lost the guy they bought in the summer.
Yeah.
Obviously, they didn't fancy Concert or Tyrone Mings. So, yeah.
Yeah, and they're having to play him again, but I think midfield as well, they probably might want something else.
They're lacking a bit of creativity, I think.
That's it, yeah. I think Jacob Ramsey's a very, very good player.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but he's a workhorse of a midfielder, really, rather than a...
Yeah, you've got
creative.
The 3 that they started with on Saturday. Obviously, McGinn's a creative player, but he's a workhorse, like you say, for Ramsey. Kamara's kind of just that little... He just sits in front of the back four, doesn't he?
That's it, and they just need a little something else. They're relying...
Spark, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see how Villa progress. They probably want to do a bit of work between now and the end of the window to get some players in. So we shall see on that one. Right, what we got left? We've got Fulham, Brentford, I reckon, next.
Yeah.
That was a very entertaining game of football too.
Very entertaining game of football, yeah.
Obviously went down. Mitrovic gets the last minute winner.
Yeah.
Sending Craven Cottage.
To be fair, you've got to love a last minute winner, haven't you?
Oh, it just hits different, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
It hits different.
Yeah, it's a complete pain for Brentford. They've done well to get back in the game.
Yeah, pulled it back from 2-0 down.
Sucker punch at the end, but for Fulham, that's a valuable 3 points. Yeah.
I mean, the start would have shot Brentford.
Yeah.
Down in what was it, 40-odd seconds?
Yeah, near enough the first attack from Bobby Reid. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're down.
And then they were 2 down within sort of 20 minutes. And you're like, ooh,
that's it. No trouble. Then you get yourself back into it. Norsgaard shops up, gets his goal. Yeah. Ivan Toney gets a good finish.
He was unlucky with an offside goal, Toney. He was literally, it was very close. Millimetres.
It was very, very close. I mean, I'm surprised that they didn't give that, to be honest.
That's what VAR's there for.
That's what it does, and they've got the lines, and they know the lines.
Yeah. I still don't understand the dotted line under the t-shirt arm, but anyway, yeah.
Well, because that's where the line is, isn't it? Wherever the furthest forward point is on the player.
I still don't. I don't understand.
That's playable by the hand.
Whether it's the longest line or the shortest line is the one they're looking for. That's the bit I get confused by.
Oh well, you have to keep looking and let us know when you find out.
Yeah,
if you can work it out. But no, Fulham. I think Fulham have had a great start.
They've had a very good start. They've had a better start than probably most would have expected them to have.
Oh, for sure. I mean, they're sitting pretty in the top half of the table right now. 5 points from their first three games.
Had a better start than they usually have.
Absolutely, and especially getting the point against Liverpool as well was huge.
Yeah.
So I think they'll be absolutely delighted getting that first win under their belt as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Will give them an extra boost now. Brentford won't be too. I mean, they'll be disappointed after, of course, getting the results against Manchester United last week, but not being able to follow that up would be a source of frustration, I think, for Brentford with something. But they were away from home, and again, Brentford will be looking mainly at home to get the majority of their points.
Definitely, yeah.
But if they do end up getting dragged down the bottom half of the table in the second half of the season, then losing to one of your biggest, to one of your potential relegation rivals is not ideal.
No.
For sure. But no, a very entertaining game. Good show for the Premier League, that one.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's go. Southampton, Leicester.
Yeah. The comeback kings.
Big turnaround.
Southampton.
Yeah. I mean, Leicester were toiling away for 50 odd minutes before Maddison scored, and it was a good goal from James Maddison.
Yeah. That's what he had. James Maddison.
He does have that phenomenal ability. So I think they'll be a bit disappointed then that they couldn't hold on afterwards. But I thought Shea Adams was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, given he'd only just come on
that whole game. Yeah. Well, yeah, that whole time he was on in that game. Sorry, I should say.
Yeah.
He comes on, he makes the difference. I mean, that's the kind of stuff that he was doing in the Championship for Birmingham City.
Yeah.
And he hadn't quite worked out how to do it in the Premier League. Yeah. But he's got a couple goals there where you're kind of hoping that he takes off from this point.
Hopefully.
Because for him, he's a very talented footballer for sure. Much loved around these parts of the country as well.
Yeah, definitely. But 2 weeks on the bounce that Southampton have come from 2 goals down last week, goal down this week.
Yeah, no, they've shown a bit of fight and a bit of character, but we're going to see this with Southampton, I think, all season. We're going to see this up and down from them, the inconsistency that they've had for the last couple of years now, really.
Yeah.
They could still go next week and get spanked 5-0 off from someone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's more than possible with Southampton.
Yeah.
Leicester need to do some business. So we've been saying this.
Yeah.
They need to go. They need some people. Obviously, they keep rejecting the Fofana bids each time they come in.
Yeah.
That'll be the one they're really going to have to try and keep hold of.
Do you think they're going to win that battle?
I think they will end up selling him. But
I think they're going to have to end up selling, because it's going to get to a point. Either Chelsea are going to go elsewhere, which is unlikely, but Chelsea, they may well go elsewhere. I think they were linked with a Brighton defender today as an alternative.
Mm-hmm.
Or they're just going to stump up the money, and Leicester are going to be fools to refuse it.
That's it.
Because you're never going to get that price again, probably.
Yeah, I think they'll. The problem for Leicester is you need to go and get someone.
Yes,
and you've got 8. Yeah. You've got 8 days to go and do it. So it is a bit worrying, I think, from a Leicester point of view right now, because I mean, these players are coming to the end of their cycle.
Yeah.
As a unit, and something new kind of needs to come through. You're trying. Obviously, Maddison's come through the last couple of years. Harvey Barnes and Dewsbury Hall have come into the team, but they need that extra bit of quality that I just don't think right now they've got.
Yeah, no, they need at least 3 or 4.
Yeah. You've left Tielemans on the bench, which I thought was very surprising.
Yeah, I think they're still not sure what to do with Tielemans. Obviously, he's got only 12 months left on his contract, so he's going to go scot-free next summer, whatever happens.
Yeah.
So
They need to do some work.
Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with the recruitment policy at Leicester. I know fine one to talk coming from a Man United fan. I get it. But United have got players through the door. Leicester haven't.
Yeah.
Are they actively looking? What are they actively looking at? Are they just struggling? Are they struggling money wise? Is money a problem at Leicester right now? We just don't know, it's a struggle. Leicester fans, let us know.
Please email us.
Please
tweet
let us know. Yep, at Let's Football Pod. And then I think the final game is Everton Forest.
It is Everton Forest.
Everton Forest. Which took about 80 minutes to kick into life. That game
to life, and then the last 10 minutes, it was crazy.
It was
Michael Dawson didn't know whether he was coming or going on Soccer Saturday. I think.
No, it's just okay, what's going on? Nothing. Half chance, nothing.
Yeah.
And then Brennan Johnson cups up. I thought it was a very good finish.
Very tidy finish. Yeah, very.
Yeah, absolutely phenomenal from the young kid. And they go 1-0 up. Everton, Goodison, fearing the worst. But then I thought the ball from Pickford to Damari Gray is one of probably the best. It's like, that's better than I've seen from Edison in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, Edison's got an eye for an assist, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But it's right up there at the very least.
Jordan Pickford has got a very good kick on him.
Yeah.
He has. His distribution is one of his probably better attributes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a great pass. I had to double because I was like, oh, who paid that pass? I was like, because I was looking at it going, I know Cody's all right, but Holgate's definitely not got that in his locker. No. Where's that come from? It's Jordan Pickford floating it over the top. So they managed to get the draw.
That's a big point for Everton.
It is a big point, but I think I still worry about them.
Yeah, they're another team that need to do some business.
Liverpool and Everton.
Yeah.
I think for the first time since the 1920s, I believe, neither of them have won.
Oh.
They've won a game in their first
three. Out, Statman.
In their first 3 Premier League games. I think that's right. It is a long time.
Don't say something if it's not right.
But I wanted to go 1922, to be honest. I'm pretty sure that was where I saw it.
Okay.
But it is certainly down there. You could check that out somewhere else, and you can rib me in the chat. But big problems in the city of Liverpool in terms of their football teams so far this season. Everton will be happy they're only 1 point behind Liverpool.
They'll be delighted. Yeah,
but they are very, very close to the bottom of the league.
5 teams without a win so far this season.
Yeah, after 3 games, but there's still 35 games to go.
Still 35 games to go. Yeah.
I expect Liverpool to bounce back strongly next week.
Yeah.
At least I think West Ham are the ones that are real surprising.
Yeah. No goals so far for West Ham. Only team without a goal.
Exactly. They haven't even scored a goal in their first 3 games, which will be very worrying for David Moyes. But things are moving on. After 3 weeks of the Premier League, we've got plenty more still to come this season. Right. Do you want to take us around the world?
I will take us around the world.
Let's go.
And we start this week in La Liga, where Villarreal beat Atletico Madrid 2-0 in one of the big games this weekend in Spain. Real Madrid and Barcelona both won 4-1 this weekend. But you can definitely tell the football is back in Spain. 8 red cards across 10 games this weekend. Not to be outdone, there were 8 red cards in France as well, including 2 for Nice, who were beaten by Clermont 1-0. After throwing his toys out his pram last week, Kylian Mbappe grabbed a hat-trick as PSG won 7-1, including the fastest goal ever scored in Ligue 1, timed at 8 seconds. The big boys are 2 flexing their muscles in Germany. Bayern Munich beat Bochum 7-0, but score 1 for the underdog. Werder Bremen scored 3 times in 6 minutes to beat Borussia Dortmund 3-2, including a winning goal from Scotland's Oliver Burke. Not many goals around in Italy, just the 13 across the 10 games, with Inter and Napoli doing most of the heavy lifting, scoring 3 and 4 respectively. Speaking of goals, lots were conceded by Wayne Rooney's DC United as they lost 6-0 to the Philadelphia Union, which of course left Wayne in a very unhappy mood. And in the AFL, there was a belting game between Burnley and Blackpool as it finished 3-3 and 10-aside in a feisty local derby. The 7-side derby was fought this weekend, and it was Bristol City that came out on top by 2-0 beating Cardiff.
Let's just have it. I just want to go back to where did I want to go back to? Oh, the PSG game. Yeah. Did Mbappe get the early goal?
He did, yeah, 8 seconds.
Oh, so he got the 8-second goal. And then in Italy, right, you're telling me that 2 teams scored 7 goals, right? Yeah. And there was only 6 goals scored by the other 18 teams.
Yes.
Unbelievable.
Lots of 0-0 draws this weekend.
That's the most Italian weekend of football ever, isn't it?
Special mention for Werder Bremen as well. Obviously coming from 2-0 down to beat Dortmund.
Yeah, that's massive, that.
A good result.
Absolutely huge.
Yeah.
They could be very, very much delighted. Right, how is Donis getting on?
Donis is doing okay. So, I'll tell you a funny story from Donis. So their game against Hearts was on TV last week. It was on BBC Scotland, the first leg. Yeah. And I caught it at about the hour mark. And Donis went off about 5 minutes later.
Nice. Good work.
So
Good work.
It's like brilliant. But they had a cup game this weekend in the Swiss Cup, the first round. They took on Cham of the 2nd division in Switzerland. There are 2 divisions, believe it or not.
Okay.
They won by 4-0, but Donis didn't play.
Nice. Well, he doesn't need to, does he?
Doesn't need to. They're playing Hearts on Thursday in the second leg of their Europa League tie to make it through to the group stage.
We will see how they get on in that then. Right. Obviously, big week coming up. We've got another great weekend of football. Do you want to take us through our fixtures for next week?
Let's take you through match day 4. So we start early doors at the St Mary's Stadium. Southampton taking on Manchester United. Then Chelsea take on Leicester at 3 o'clock, with Brighton and Leeds at 3 o'clock as well as Manchester City and Crystal Palace and Liverpool and Bournemouth. Also Brentford and Everton as well. 5:30 game is Arsenal versus Fulham. Then there are 2 games kicking off at 2 o'clock on Sunday. Wolves and Newcastle, Aston Villa and West Ham before the 4:30 game. Nottingham Forest taking on Tottenham.
Well, plenty of good games of football to come this weekend. A lot of intriguing ties between separate teams. Yeah, I was talking about the inconsistency of Southampton. I could really do with that happening this weekend.
You really could, couldn't you?
Hopefully we'll get to see Casemiro in action for the first time in the Premier League, see how he gets on. But yeah, plenty to look forward to. Thank you so much for listening this week. We will be back next week with lots to talk about, as well as we look forward, of course, to the transfer deadline day coming up a couple of days later. Don't forget you can tweet us at Let's Football Pod. You can email us at letsfootballpod@gmail.com. That's how you can get in touch with us here. Let us know how you're getting on with your club. But for now, we will be back next week, and look after yourselves, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye.